Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Baltimoreans, I guess I could do the friends, Baltimoreans, city folk, like friends, Romans, countrymen, something like that. It is the moment that we've all been waiting for. We've all been talking about, we've all been dreaming about for years. For years. The Orioles have signed Ronald Guzman to a minor league contract. I know it's what you came here for. The sweet swinging, lefty, home run hitting brother in blue of Nomar Mazara from that Rangers team back in the day. That wait. The other news. I see. Okay. So you're talking Andrew Suarez minor league deal. That's what we came here for, right? Okay, it's not that either. I'm sorry. Okay. So I guess you guys want to hear that David Rubenstein and Mike Arrighetti have bought the Baltimore Orioles for $1.7 billion? Dollars? Is that what you want to hear? Because that's what I want to talk about. We are here today celebrating the end of an era, celebrating the end of John Angelos and his reign of terror over the Baltimore Orioles. I'm not going to make this a long pod because I really I'm going to be fully honest. I'm coming off of a 13-hour shift at 7:43 in the morning on January 31st. I'm very tired. I'm coming at you with a quick hitter here, but we had to get on and talk about it. The Orioles have been not the Orioles. Orioles fans have been talking for years about John Angelos, his refusal to spend, his inability to lead this team, to the next level. I don't know, there was the Kevin Brown stuff. There was his comments with Dan Connolly. I could not remember Dan Connolly's last name. With Dan Connolly, why are you asking me questions like this on Martin Luther King Day? He has made a mockery of himself and this organization for years and years and years, unendingly. And his father, we had some issues with Peter, but at least Peter was trying. Peter cared very much. Peter would spend, we went and we gave 150 to Chris Davis, and that was ill-advised money. Clearly, it did not turn out very well, but he wanted to spend. This was a guy who was leading an MVP caliber campaign, and Peter Angelos said, "I want that guy in Baltimore," and we said, "Okay." So this is the removal of John that we are celebrating. So I guess to actually talk about the details of it a little bit. Again, this news is everywhere. First reported by Puck News, but two private equity billionaires, David Rubenstein of the Carlyle Group and Mike Arrighetti of Ares Management Corporation, are purchasing the team for $1.725 billion. My brother Jesse obviously came on this very same pod and gave a rundown of Rubenstein. He's a Baltimore guy, worth almost $4 billion. I'm not going to go and rehash all of that. Feel free to go listen to the episode. But presumably, Rubenstein would be the one taking over as the primary control person from Angelos. To be clear, this deal is not official. Much like the A's move to Vegas and everything, does need to get approved by the other 29 owners. This is standard operating procedure. I don't believe that any sort of timetable for that has been made official. Everything is still up in the air, of course. This is somewhat comical because, once the Rubenstein report initially came out from Bloomberg, John Angelos went ahead and told Westmore, "Oh, no, we're not selling the team." Gave a bunch of lip service. So I am a little bit curious as to the political ramifications of this, what it means for the Orioles lease. As we have talked about ad nauseum on the Warehouse Pod, we do not believe that there is any reason for any potential owner of this team to take the Orioles out of Baltimore. Have one of the best stadiums. You have an incredibly promising young core. You are finally re-engaging the fan base after an almost 10-year drought. This is a good place to be, and you've got the RSN figured out with Masson. Um, there are problems with Masson itself, of course, and diversion of funds, or the division of funds with the Nationals. But you at least are able to say, okay, we know at least what the financials that will be coming into us from this regional sports network will be. So financially, for appearances' sake, again, Rubenstein is a Baltimore guy. Nobody's coming to take the Orioles out of Baltimore. But, there are some interesting ramifications for going through this negotiation process of the lease. It does now seem like much more of a business and financial tactic to have secured the lease heading into this moment. Even if that lease is just temporary and not actually the full 30 years that everyone was talking about it being. So once again, I don't have too much to say about this. We just wanted to jump on and acknowledge it. Hopefully the thing that we are all praying on is that Elias will be able to go ahead, finally open purse strings a little bit, collect himself a nice free agent. At least, somebody worth multiple years. That's all I really want. I just want to get a free agent and say, wow, I'm excited to see him next spring training. Because that hasn't happened under Michael Elias. It's all been 1-year deals. We have the club option with Craig Kimbrell. So I guess there's a chance if things go well, and he is performing well this year, we could see him next year. But at the same time, Michael Elias reserves the right to say no. And that is standard operating procedure for the Orioles right now. These short-term deals, no more than like $15 million. The $13 million that Craig Kimbrell got was the largest contract handed out under the Elias regime. So we are clearly in a spot where we are excited about the concept of somebody worth, just with the net worth of twice what John Angelos has coming in, and hopefully, putting some money, investing a little bit in the product on the field, and not just relying on the brilliancy of Michael Elias to create something from nothing. That is really all I have to say. Just wanted to touch base, celebrate with all of you. This is definitely welcome news, especially after the licking that Baltimore sports took this past weekend. Our brothers in purple, I'm not even going to say like they played well or anything, because we all know they didn't. They just lost. So that hurt. The Orioles kept doing nothing, but this is at least some good sports news. And hopefully, there are the owners' meetings are happening in Orlando next week. And so hopefully we will maybe get some resolution on this pretty soon here. This might be the reason that it's coming out now, to, informally brief the other 29 owners on this situation, and maybe we can get a deal approved and start heading into this season with kind of a new outlook on the team. I will say people on Twitter have talked about potentially, a change in the front office that would potentially accompany this. I have absolutely no reason to believe that, there's any reason Michael Elias would be on his way out with this. There is no indication that he's anything but phenomenal at his job. I think that any GM, if you give them more money, will be able to make a better team. That seems like a pretty fundamental quality of a general manager, that with more resources, they can do a better job. I think that Elias is that. So I don't think there's any reason to think Rubenstein and Arrighetti would be coming in here saying that's not the guy. He's done an incredible job with limited resources. He has built this team up from the ground up, as we have all seen. I think that Elias is here to stay, regardless of the state of ownership. And yeah, I am wildly excited. I'm getting my blood pumping. I told you it's been, it is 8 a.m. I started work at 6 p.m. last night. I am exhausted, and I was sitting here scrolling Twitter, and I said, you know what? We need a pod. We need to talk. and I just came here to give you 10 minutes of my time, and I'm, as always, grateful for you giving me 10 minutes of yours. This has been the Warehouse Podcast. My name's Elijah. Give us a follow, like, subscribe, rate, all that stuff if you enjoy us, and we will chat with you soon. Thanks.